Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Hearts of Iron 4, continuing on with my Nova Roma play. And I'm going to go ahead and be commanding this army manually for the duration of this war. But I'm going to allow the white and red armies to be automatically controlled. And the moment we have some slow progress, but things are going pretty well here. Looks like we're about to win. Okay, tanks are there. I'm going to go ahead and start... No. Start running this way. So maybe we can cut these guys off. And these guys, who have just arrived, can help out in some of these fights. Go ahead and squish here. Although that might not give my guys time to really finish the cutoff, but... I'll try. This is hilly terrain here, where my tanks will be doing okay. Mountains is going to be a little bit more of a problem. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and push here. I'm going to take this mountain guy. Oh, I guess that's the only way he can attack. Alright, you know what? I like cutting people off, so I'm going to do this move instead. Because this gives me an opportunity to cut them off. I know I'm making the tanks move through mountains, which is probably not the best idea, but... These guys are still on autopilot, so they should do what they need to do. Alright, so we've got some mountain troops coming in. We'll help out there. I don't know if I'm going to get there in time to really cut them off. Especially as these guys are fighting me here. Alright, you go ahead and march up this way. We'll make a move towards the capital here. We're still making the initial plan push up here. Going pretty well. Okay, these guys are officially cut off. Let's go ahead and finish them off with the tanks. And you know what, mountain troops? You go ahead and just go up with your other infantry unit. As the tanks help fight here. Okay, we have a battle here. Mountain troops will be in to help in a second. Alright. Continuing the push here. Alright. Tanks. I guess you might as well come up this way. Again, I'm going to let the AI do their thing. So I'm going to speed up a little bit here because we're kind of got slow movement now. And the AI here needs a new plan. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that for them. So the offensive line is going to include these two. And you know what? You guys just go ahead and march in here. Actually, Mountain Division, march in there. So that line I just drew is probably pointless, but... yeah, that was definitely pointless. Let's redraw the line. To include these three. So once that's gone, they'll go on to the next. Okay, you guys... This is mountains, isn't it? All of this is mountains. Am I already pushing here? That wasn't what they were supposed to do. Is this an attack or a defense? This is an attack. Huh. Well, I didn't tell him to do that, but okay. I'll go ahead and push here with the tanks and hopefully help out. I mean, if we take the capital, we take the capital and we're done, but just kind of surprised that they're doing that because they were not told to do that. They should be doing this push. This is sometimes why I scratch my head at the AI decisions, because they're not being told to do this push and they're doing it anyway. And frankly, I think they're probably doing it stupidly. Okay, so we have the remilitarization of the Rhineland. That's the German thing. We just got Ethiopian war logistics, which should have given me some infrastructure and things. I'm going to go ahead and immediately go to the industrial effort here, which should give me some civilian factories in Italy. So we'll do that. And then I guess we might as well just push on the capital at this point. And I guess you guys can just go ahead with the plan when you feel you can. Okay, they're already marching. There you go. Alright, you guys just go ahead with the plan. Whether or not you'll do it, I don't know, but... You know, screw it, I'm just going to manually command you. Because we've almost taken the capital, and I have a feeling that the Ethiopians are going to capitulate as soon as we do that. Alright, so we've got some... Okay, so Ethiopia. We're going to take all states. And end turn. And I think that's it, so they're done. And we can pause here while we work with the factories. So we've got one factory. Woo! I'm going to go ahead and put that right back into the fighter. And at this point, are we going to even have resistance here? Looks like no. So I don't know if I need to keep that many troops in here. I am going to send the Italian division back over to this port, and the White division back over to this port. Unless there's colonial troops. Colonial troops can stay. Yeah, okay. And then the Red Army, you've got a couple colonial troops, which will stay, but you have a couple normal units, which can go over here. So colonial units are going to stay in this area and hold down ports and things. And the capital. So one of you is going to work your way into the port eventually. And then the other of you, there was another city somewhere that I took, but I don't remember where it was. Oh, that would be here, huh? Alright, so you go ahead and go there. And then the Air Force that I have down here, they can be rerouted, but I don't really have another mission for them, so I don't really see the point. And I'm probably going to need to reorganize the Air Forces and stuff eventually anyway, but I think at this point... Oh, we need focus. Yeah, no, we already did that. Okay, good. So what I'm going to eventually be doing is taking all these guys and sending them back into Italy. And another thing that I can do, now that the war is over, is exercise the troops that are in Italy. So we get some more experienced units. As a matter of fact, I do want to take a look at my generals and to see their skill level. So that guy went up to 5. This guy stayed at 1. This guy stayed at 1. So looks like the only guy that leveled up was a guy that already had quite a lot of skill. Okay, so all of the units are there. Go ahead and grab them all. And we'll be sending them back into Italy. Don't really have necessarily an area I want to send them, but I'll go ahead and put them over into Venice. And then we'll redeploy from there. And then I'm going to want to put these guys into an army. Let's say the Orange Army, maybe. This guy is going to cease existing. And then everybody here is going to be now in the White Army. Okay. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's continue. I think the simplest thing to do with the Navy, well, not the Navy, the Air Force, is just expand some of the wings. So we've got 80 fighters. Ooh, that's a good tech to have. I'm going to just up that by, up to that to 150. That limit. Tactical bombers, we'll set to 100. Oop. And just kind of do that with some of the groups. Naval bomber I don't want to mess with. I don't have any naval bomber production. And I guess I might as well reroute these forces. So I'll keep behind this guy and this guy, but everybody else needs to come back up. So I'll put these guys over here into that airfield. And then all of these guys can come over and be in that airfield. And also come in here, just cancel all the orders. There we go. Okay, research slot. We just got the electronic engineering, so I think mechanical computing is the next thing to do for sure. So we can get more of a research bonus. And there we go. All right, well, war went well, and it only took us a few months, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Now the question is, should I be using my political power for things other than just increasing the political power? Like, for instance, increasing fascism in some countries. Let's take a look at some of the focuses that I have that are probably going to do stuff. So we got befriend Bulgaria. I still haven't decided on whether I want to claim Yugoslavia or befriend it. The big thing I'm probably going to want to do is I'm probably going to want to do some of these war efforts as quick or as soon as I can, as early in the time period as I can, to try and avoid any tension problems. I can do Triumph in Africa, though. Eventually, as soon as this is done. So that we can start doing some of those things. Of course, on the other hand, I could just go through and get the research slot, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I think after I'm done with this, I think I definitely need to go with Triumph of Africa. So Bulgaria and Yugoslavia are two things. Now, if I claim Yugoslavia, then there's no point in making them fascist. Bulgaria is already kind of going fascist. So I probably want to focus on countries that I want to ally being the key thing here, but are not fascist. So like Romania is a good example of a country. Now, I don't know if I have a focus that would befriend Romania. I'm not sure. I have befriend Portugal. And I have befriend Japan. Oh, here we go. Befriend Romania. So that would be the route we'd want to go. So I definitely want to grab Romania. And I think we need to start pushing them fascist if we want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and boost party popularity, and we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm only going to boost them for now. We're going to be a little bit not as aggressive politically as we were in the German campaign. All right, so go ahead. Now it's the waiting game. Of course, while I wait, I'll be making plans for the next war. Now, there is a way that I absorb Albania, I am fairly certain. And where would that be? Albanian occupation, right here. So that's after claims on Yugoslavia, we get Albanian occupation. Might be a good call to do the claims on Yugoslavia, then do the Albanian occupation before we start a war, so we can get troops into Albania and use that as a second front to attack the Yugoslavian army. And I think for now, I'm going to go ahead and just set up some fronts. So I'm going to go ahead, send the White Army, and give them a front line here. Now, I don't know if you can set up an offensive line in a country you're not at war with, but it looks like I can. So that is something I can do. And then, I guess, I'm going to split off some of these guys from the Blue Army because I don't think maybe they're needed. Actually not sure how to unassign them. Oh, here we go. Sure you want to unassign. Yep. And yep. Okay, so those guys are no longer in the army. And there may be another unit somewhere that I don't want. I guess this unit here. I don't want them in the army either. And then everybody else should be pretty much on the front over here anyway. So we're going to go ahead and have the Green Army have a front line here. Ooh. Alright, well, we have a couple troops over here. That's fine. We already have troops over on this border, so I think that's fine that these guys are going over there. Alright, well, I think that's probably good for initial stuff. White Army. Alright, there's our focus. White Army, you guys go ahead and exercise, although you're not going to need to do it as long because you already have a bunch of guys at regular or better position. So, how's the Green Army doing in that regards? They're pretty much good, so they don't need to exercise anymore, although it does give me army experience. And what about you? You're good. And you troops? Oops, not you. You guys still need training. So you know what? I'll go ahead and create a new army. Oh, and the White Army needs to come up here. This army needs to come down here. And you guys are going to join that army. And then you guys are going to go ahead and exercise. And I'm going to give you a commander. Not that it matters. There you go. And then you guys are going to come over here. And you're going to exercise. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the focus here. All right, so I am going to go for the research slot because I think it's important, especially early on. What else we got here? Infrastructure. And then get some oil. Well, oil is always good, but right now, I definitely want to go Triumph of Africa as soon as I can. That does give me a bunch of national unity, which is good. But really, I want to start doing pushing for war. So go ahead and do this. We get some military factories, which is always nice. And how's our construction effort going? Okay, we're moving along. And research, we're 7 days away from a bunch of research coming out all at the same time. And with that army experience, I can actually start altering some of my units. So I think it's probably a good idea to do that. So I'm going to edit these guys. I'm going to give them an artillery company. Now, I realize you can have actual bigger artillery units, but I'm not going to do that, I don't think, yet. So those guys are good. I have 30 army experience to work with, so I can start making this more of a tank unit. So let's see about that. So we can make this guy motorized infantry. We can make this guy motorized infantry. Then we can make this guy a light tank, as well as that guy. So we've got 3 light tank units and 4 motorized infantry. That will cost me 20 army experience, but I think this makes the unit way more effective than it was before. And we can always add another light tank unit or something like that if we need to. So let's go ahead and save that on up. Make our tank units so much more effective. Colonial units I don't think need to change. Cavalry units I'll keep as they are. Alright, so I think that's going to be that. I think the Alpine Division already had stuff. As far as artillery goes, yeah, and they have engineers as well. So mostly it'd be the tank division that we want to maybe add something in, like engineers. Because engineers add a lot to defense, breakthrough, and a bunch of stats that are really good. And artillery is always good as well. I just think I'm going to go with the engineering company because that's all I can afford for now. So we'll go ahead and save that on up. And that will be the changes to our templates for now. And I'm going to assume that production-wise, we're going to need a lot more tanks now. Yeah, almost 500. Okay, we've got the artillery, the support weapons, the machine tools. Let's go ahead and start selecting some research here. All right, so we've got all this stuff for 36 outside of, you know, paratroopers, marines, which I'm not really ready to do. Support, we could do recon and maintenance, maybe. But that's not a high priority for me right now. We could do better tanks. Artillery is always an option. Land doctrines, I'm not ready to do unless I have some kind of discount. So I think what I need is fighters here. So I'm going to do fighters. I'm also going to need to do a couple things here. So I would like to do the radio tech. And I'd also like to get the synthetic oil done. Just so that I have it available. Although, maybe that's not the right call. Maybe I should do one of these. So, dispersed industry or concentrated industry. I think dispersed, because there's always the worry that we're going to get directly bombed, because we are in Europe, after all. So, yeah, we'll go with dispersed industry. That's probably the better thing to choose, rather than synthetic oil. Alright. And search that. Okay, so we're pretty much good to go. Mostly focusing on engineering and industry-related techs for now, but we'll change that in a bit. And then I think I need 150 before I can make any changes here, so we're going to have to wait on that. All right. We're good to go. Mostly rating on research and focuses to finish up here. Now, I know I could always justify war goals ahead of time. And I might be able to possibly snipe like Austria if I was, you know, clever about it. But I think I just want to focus on getting this stuff over here done. But the whole Austrian thing is kind of an interesting idea, maybe. Let me just take a look, remind myself of the... So they already did this. So they're waiting to get their manpower up, their fielded manpower up high enough. Question is, does Austria have any guarantees? Yeah, nobody's guaranteeing anything there. So, do I justify our war goal against Austria? And hope to snipe them from Germany before the Anschluss can happen? Or do I go for the Yugoslavian thing, which we'll be able to get done fairly quickly? I mean, this is a very aggressive move if I were to do it. But the Austrian army is so small, I might actually be able to manage it, because it says here At least this is the estimation of 7 to 10 divisions. I've got 19 that I can put on their border right now. And I have a lot more than that in reserve. What do we gain from that? Let's see. We can get a little bit of oil, some iron, and some aluminum. But I think the main thing it would do is weaken Germany for the future. Because we know they're going to go for this. And it kind of expands the territory that I'm going to be controlling over here. I'm not going to do it, but that was definitely something that I could have done, and I just have in mind here. I'm really torn on that one. Justify war goals do take quite a while, though. But I think that's just the kind of thing that we want to do when the world tension is so low. And as I've already discussed, they're fairly weak. Nothing like what we'll face when we go after Yugoslavia. So screw it, I'm going to do it. Justify war goal. Conquer. And I have to pick what I want. Can I pick all of it? War goal would cost you 47 political power. And last 235 days. 67, 66. So we'll control all of Austria. I'm not sure. Does the war goal last 330 days, or does it take 330 days to get it? I'm going to try it. I think it's worth it. 66 political power we have. I think it's worth it. I'm going to try. All right, here it goes. So I'm going to want to move these guys. So White Army, can you change your front line so that it is... No, I wanted to delete your... Why isn't it letting me delete the order? Could be because they're exercising. Hold on. Or it could be... Yeah, it is not letting me delete the order. Oh, it's because I'm selecting the wrong army. Duh. Okay, let's go back over here and make sure these guys are exercising. I thought I was selected on the White Army. I was in the wrong theater. Okay. And you guys don't need to exercise anymore anyway. Okay, so you guys... Front line against Austria. This might be a hard front to push, though. Considering the forces against me. And... How are you guys doing? Do you still need to exercise for the most part? Gotcha. Okay. Let's see, timeline. Expected to finish April 27th, 1937. Alright, so that's going to be tight, probably, when the Anschluss happens, but we'll give it a try. I could have rushed it a little bit and only asked for a little bit of Austria rather than taking the whole thing, but... Of course, the other problem is guarantees that may or may not happen. May force me to abandon that. And the White Army, because I think I can do a offensive line. So we'll just go ahead and draw that out like that. And then you guys can prepare for that. And this also gives me time to recruit more troops and send it over to that front. I'm going to want Alpine divisions, honestly, for that particular fight. And I might want to put a bunch of those over there, but for now, we're just going to relax. And as a matter of fact, I think this is a good point to put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.